This is a continuation of Chapter 8. In the previous part of Chapter 8, there were two functions that were written. The first of those functions was named cube, and the purpose of cube was to take whatever argument that it was given and cube the number in that argument. The second function was called hyp, short for hypotenuse, and the purpose there is that if you were fed two legs of a triangle into hyp, it would return the length of the hypotenuse. The topic in this subsection is scoping, and this is, if you're new to programming, a little surprising. If you've programmed for a while, you're used to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a function called set x to 2. And there it is. There is nothing out there in R called set x to 2, which is not too surprising. We could have also asked if there exists something called set x to 2, and you would find out the answer is false. There is no function out there in R called set x to 2. Well, let's write the function. Not surprisingly, when I say set x to 2, define that as a function. And this is going to be a function with no arguments. All it does is take x and set it equal to 2. So we are done with that. We can look up here and see that there is, in fact, a function called set x to 2. It is a function with no arguments. If I type the name of this function, namely set x to 2, there is the function. No arguments, x gets set to 2. So now we're going to try calling this. So let's set x to something on the outside. I'll set x to 17. And notice up here, you'll see that x is equal to 17. And so if I type x, I see that it has the value 17. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call set x to 2. And whoops, that's not calling it. That's giving its contents. I need to have the arguments, and there are none when I call it. And set x to 2 just got set or got called right there. And now what we might want to do is see what the value of x is. Well, we assume that x was 17 on the outside. Set x to 2 will set x to 2. And so if we type x, we're surprised to see that it is still 17 as it shows up here in the corner. Well, what happened? There's two different x's that are running around. The first is x that is set to 17 on the outside, and the second is there is what is referred to as a local version of x on the inside, and even though they have the same name, they are two different variables. The x on the outside is called a global variable. Its scope is global. And the x on the inside, which I set to 2, is called a local variable. So global and local variables have to be handled differently. When you change a variable on the inside like this, that local variable, it does not change the global x. There are more examples given in the book, and this is just to give you an introduction to how scoping works. Local variables inside a function, global variables outside.